The smell of fresh polish drifted down the marble corridor of the upscale downtown hotel, its sheen so clean it reflected the gold chandeliers like liquid light. Samir moved his mop in steady strokes, as he always did, a quiet rhythm to fill the night shift hours. At 43, he had learned how to make himself invisible among guests who rarely noticed the janitor, especially in a place where wealth and hurried schedules masked everything human. Yet he was there, steady, deliberate, a man who had traveled half the world only to land in this sprawling American city. His English was good enough for work orders and small pleasantries, but it was Arabic that lived in his heart. The language of his childhood in Oman. He missed it the way one misses a familiar smell in the air or a melody from another time. Tonight, though, the hotel felt especially sterile, as if the evening had drained the last warmth from its marble bones. At the far end of the lobby cafe copyright, where soft jazz curled around the tables, a man sat alone in a tailored navy suit. Everyone in the hotel knew who he was, though few had the nerve to glance at him directly. William Carden, the youngest CEO in the company's history. People called him the cold CEO because of his clipped answers, his refusal to engage in small talk, and his reputation for dismissing employees on a whim. He sat now with his tablet propped beside a glass of neat whiskey, typing with deliberate precision, his grey eyes scanning contracts. Samir didn't see him. He rarely did. He was busy wringing out his mop when the doors opened, and a gust of spring night swept into the lobby carrying the smell of rain and city air. A woman stumbled in, clutching a folded piece of paper. She looked bewildered, her dark hair loosened from her scarf, a long beige coat buttoned wrong at the collar. Her eyes darted around the lobby with desperation. Samir noticed the paper first, the scrawled address, the foreign letters. He stepped closer. "Are you a broken bar lost?" he asked gently. She blinked at him, lips trembling, then spoke in halting English. "Please see broken bar my sister, a broken bar address." "I can note a broken bar." Her accent curled the words into something familiar. Samir's heart jolted. He switched to Arabic instinctively, softly. "Do you speak Arabic?" Her eyes widened with relief, and her hands came to her face. "Alhamdulillah," she whispered. "Yes." Arabic spilled from her like water breaking a dam. "I am trying to find my sister. I just arrived. No one understands me." The hotel lobby blurred out of Samir's mind. He could feel her panic, the fear of being lost in a foreign city with no one to translate. He took the paper from her and read the address quickly. It wasn't far, maybe 20 minutes by bus, but at this hour and with her trembling hands, it might as well have been another country. "I will help you," Samir said in Arabic. "Don't worry." She began to cry softly, the tears shining in the hotel's golden light. "Thank you." Everyone just looked at me. Samir glanced toward the front desk, but the clerks were busy with a row of business travelers. He had a break soon anyway. He motioned for her to sit on the bench by the window while he went to the janitor's closet. He retrieved his jacket, old but warm, and draped it over her shoulders. "Come," he said. "I'll take you." Across the cafe copyright, William Carden had been watching with no expression. He had caught the moment Samir switched languages, the way the woman's body sagged in relief, the gentle way he helped her. Something about it clashed against the steel monotony of his evening. He didn't know Arabic, or he didn't even know why he cared. But when the janitor helped the woman to her feet and led her toward the door, William closed his tablet, left a bill under his glass, and rose silently to follow. Outside, the rain was a fine mist against the neon-lit sidewalk. Samir guided the woman under the awning, speaking quietly to reassure her. "My car is old," he said in Arabic, "but it will take us there." She nodded, clutching the address. From a few yards behind, William stepped into the night, his expensive shoes tapping the wet pavement. The rain speckled his suit jacket, but he didn't open his umbrella. He watched as Samir unlocked a battered sedan and opened the passenger door for the woman. Inside the car, Samir started the engine, glancing at her again. "Do you have your sister's phone number?" She handed him her phone. which displayed a contact she'd tried calling multiple times. No answer. Samir knew the neighborhood, an older part of town where taxis rarely went after midnight. He shifted into drive and pulled away from the curb, headlights glistening on wet streets. William hailed a cab with a flick of his hand. "Follow that car," he said, his voice low. The driver raised an eyebrow but shrugged. As Samir drove, he asked the woman about her journey. She was Syrian, newly arrived on a special visa. Her sister had been in the States for 2 years but couldn't come to meet her at the airport because of a work emergency. The buses confused her, the station signs blurred with exhaustion. She'd wandered until the hotel lobby had seemed like a safe place to ask for directions, only no one understood her. "You're safe now," Samir told her. "We're almost there." In the back of the cab, William's phone buzzed with a message from his assistant reminding him of a morning board meeting. He ignored it. He watched the sedan ahead as if it carried some key to a puzzle he'd never tried to solve. Samir pulled up to a small apartment building with peeling paint and flickering lights. "Here," he said. "This is the address." The woman gasped, her hands clasping in gratitude. "Thank you. I don't know what I would do." Broken bar. Samir stepped out, walked her to the door, and waited as she rang the buzzer. Moments later a young woman rushed down the stairs, eyes wide, and they embraced with cries of relief. The reunion was wordless but powerful. Samir smiled softly and stepped back. He turned to leave, but the sister ran after him. "Sir, please wait." She spoke accented English but enough to be understood. "You helped my sister. We must thank you." "It's nothing," Samir said. "I'm glad she is safe." William's cab pulled up quietly across the street. He rolled the window down just enough to see. He watched the janitor wave off the thanks, slip back into his car, and drive away into the rain. Back at his penthouse later that night, William sat with a drink untouched. The image of the janitor stayed with him, the mop, the battered sedan, the way he switched languages without hesitation. He remembered his own father, a man who'd once fixed elevators and taught him to never look away from someone in need. Somewhere along the climb to power, William had forgotten that lesson. The next morning, Samir returned to work as usual, mopping the lobby floor under the same chandeliers. He thought nothing more of the incident. But William arrived early, something he almost never did. He paused near the janitor's cart. "Good morning," William said. Samir blinked, startled. "Good morning, sir." William hesitated. "That woman last night. You helped her." Samir's mop stilled. He nodded slowly. "She was lost." William studied him. "You speak Arabic?" "Yes." "You didn't have to do that," William said. Samir frowned slightly. "She needed help." William looked away, his jaw tightening. "Right." Samir resumed mopping, and William walked off, but not before glancing back. He had an idea forming, something both business and personal, though he couldn't quite name it yet. Later that day, William called his HR director. "I want the personnel file on the janitor in the lobby," he said. That evening, Samir was heading out when William stopped him near the elevators. "Do you have a moment?" William asked. Samir nodded cautiously. William gestured toward the Cafe Tilde copyright, now empty except for a few late guests. "Let me buy you a coffee." Samir almost laughed at the absurdity but followed. They sat at a corner table. William removed his jacket, leaned forward. "I want to understand something. Why did you help her? You could have called a cab. You could have pointed at a map." Samir tilted his head. "Because when I came to this country, I was lost too. Someone helped me. It is what we do." William stared at him. In his mind, numbers and mergers seemed suddenly trivial. He saw not a janitor but a man who had crossed oceans and still carried kindness like a torch. Over the next week, William found excuses to pass through the lobby more often. He asked Samir about his life, his family. He learned Samir had a teenage son who loved science, that Samir sent money home to his mother every month. Slowly, a picture formed in William's mind of a man whose quiet dignity dwarfed the glossy success around him. It was on a rainy Thursday night, a week after the incident, when William saw Samir again, this time helping a lost child find her mother in their lobby. The same gentle patience, the same kindness. William felt something shift inside him. He called his board later that night. "We're launching a new program," he said. "Multilingual staff training, community outreach, scholarships for employee families." They were stunned. "This isn't like you," one board member said. "Maybe it should be," William replied.